Rob Grimes with the IFBTA, and I'm really pleased to welcome our newest global industry partner member, IBM, and also Jason Kelly, who is the Global General Manager for IBM Blockchain. So welcome to the IFBTA and welcome to a rainy day in Maryland.
It's great. Great to be here. Thanks, Rob.
So a lot of what we're talking about, and I think when people think about IBM, they think big. They just think big. You know, IBM's too big for us, right? Mm-hmm. So it really isn't about big or small. I mean, are you offering value down to the regional operator as well? And how do they apply? How do they learn? How do they get started if you're a regional operator with 20 to 80 units, let's say, and you're not 5,000 units?
Right.
Can they play in this as well, and can they connect with IBM on it?
Absolutely, they can. First, I always have to throw this out is just ibm.com/blockchain.
Okay.
That's a quick commercial because people say, where can I go for information? Getting that information is a start, and I'll share some of it here. Is that it doesn't have to be just the large entity. Sometimes we throw out the thoughts of a Yara, we throw out Walmart, we talk about large players, and people say, oh well, I'll wait until they lead. Well, we have startups that we're working with as well. We have middle market players that are in there, and so all of them have value that they can realize in doing this. If they touch data, if they have people, process, and paperwork, those three things are what we address here. And so what's the starting point? The starting point is very low, and that's when I say, well, what's my entry point? If it's IBM, I've got to go buy some big thing. And in fact,
I think that's what people think.
Well, right. and in fact, it starts very small. And when I say small, I mean it's in something that you and I could personally afford. We have 3-4-person companies that we work with because it starts with that initial design. And once we understand the outcome that they want, it could be joining an existing network. It could be, and this is the beauty of a platform cloud-based capability. You say, wait a second, I don't have to buy all that myself.
Right.
I can latch on. I can see benefit from something that exists.
Right. So IBM is enabling, the future of food and beverage, and you're doing it through trust as a service.
We'd like to say that, and with blockchain being the new OS for trust.
There you go. Then I got that. All right. So we talked about big and small. So anybody really can play. That's good. And if they're not sure how, they can come to you, and either you can help them to look at what's in your portfolio of services. You can connect them with partners or other people that provide it. And you can provide them the platform that's the backbone, so they don't have to invest in the platform. They're investing in their application.
Their outcome, that's right.
Right. They're investing in what they want to do in the end. So,
that's
so they're able to play that way. So I think it's pretty clear. I'm not so sure that everybody understood that, and blockchain is certainly an area that I don't know that I would have thought of IBM, in playing in that world, right? Because it's got a specific piece. And the word trust and enablement, sort of fits together here. But IBM's in a lot of industries. And even food and beverage falls under, I guess, retail or consumer goods.
Mm-hmm. Consumer.
And then you have the hospitality industry, the lodging guys falling under travel and tourism.
Travel and transportation.
Travel and transportation. So nobody ever invents everything, in their own place. And you guys had a big showing at NRF this year, the Retail Federation show. Are there some learnings that you think that food and beverage are going to get from retail or from lodging or from travel that you've seen, in your career?
I think that what we're seeing now is something that some of us have been hoping for many years. And just as you called out the different industries, first, something we have always said and everyone knows, you can't just grab a solution and say, plug and play, it's going to work. It's going to work in every industry. It doesn't. There's specificity, and that's what we've made sure we do in what we're talking about here. And then there's this blurring of lines between industry. Mm-hmm. As you called out, forget what we call it for the way we run as our 108-year-old startup. Let's talk about how the industries are now collaborating. And I'll give a quick example of how the FDA said we want to do a pilot exercise for pharma, and we want to involve Merck, we want to involve an IBM, we want to use a retailer, Walmart, and then we said, well, why don't we also have some audit capability with KPMG? Wait, that's your competitor. No, it's not. It's a team sport. Right. So what did we just went across consumer, pharma, retail. You can, depending upon which company, and we might have crossed maybe even 5 industries. Right. This is what I think is exciting. What I see now is that they're coming together, and it requires us to now simplify what they're getting, scale it so they can start and then expand, right. And then also you have to have that ability to convene the same outcome for different players in the park.
Right, so what would happen, sort of in the old days, like 3 years ago, is that the smaller players might be found for innovation, but they couldn't necessarily fund it. And then the big players, when they see what the consumers want, because the consumer always seems to drive it, and the technology guys have always been known for having a technology and then looking for the solution. Right. Going to CES and trying to figure out how it works, right?
Well, so I'll leave some of that with you because you said it with regards to how they're all played out. Because I think my company could sit in different areas. Right. We work in different. What I would say is that I believe that the focus has always been and will continue to be consumability, since we're using consumer. And how do I consume what your capabilities are so I can get an outcome? And this goes back to, I said, our mission is to make sure that we simplify that so they know what they're going to consume. They can consume it in small bites. We're not giving them this huge buffet. It's like, the East Coast diner menu it looks like right. You can never decide what you want. We say, look, here's some simple ways to get started. Here's what makes sense in your industry based on the outcomes that you want. And here are some examples of even other industries that are doing something similar. Mm-hmm. And now let's work to that outcome.
Well, that's really where you can bring the learnings of the other people to bear, because you don't have to invent it all yourself, right? So you're able to use that experience.
And in fact, we don't invent it all ourselves, and this is a differentiator as well. When I talk about design, Rob, you said it earlier, you said collaboration. Mm-hmm. And where this works and where we've been madly successful is when we start with this thought of design and business value design with our clients, because we can't tell them. I love this thought of, I'm a consultant, I'm going to tell you what you need. You're going to advise, but it's that client knows more about their business than you do. So there is this collaboration. Now, you may know a lot about an industry, and you have forgotten more than I'll ever learn about the food and beverage industry. And it takes tying into that knowledge and then collaboratively saying, what else have I learned elsewhere, and coming up with a solution that will be innovative and will get you the outcomes that you haven't received in the past.
Well, listen, I think that, certainly this is a start of a much longer term conversation in the industry, one that we expect IBM will play a key role in. We're already aware that your engagement in the industry is going well beyond the IFBTA, but thanks to National Restaurant Association and other places that you can bring. Oh, well, it's CES. Right. CES seeing IBM bringing Food Trust there was something I wasn't expecting to see. So right. I think that the messaging is there, and we want to thank you for your support and welcome to the IFBTA.
Thanks, Rob. We look forward to doing lots of great things together.
Great. So Rob Grimes with the IFBTA, and it's been a pleasure to welcome IBM as our newest global industry partner, and also Jason Kelly, who General Manager of IBM Blockchain and Services and Trust, actually, to the IFBTA. So thank you.
Thanks, Rob.